Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming today and welcome to our Sunday meeting. My name is Juliana and I'm one of the volunteers with the group. Today I'm going to be speaking about prayer, talk a little bit about importance, effectiveness, and action of the prayer. But before that, let's going to start with our initial prayer. If I'm gonna ask all of you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, sit comfortably, connect with the spirituality. Elevate our thoughts and connect with the spirituality. I'd like to thank God, Jesus, and the spirituality for this meeting today. I'd like to ask permission to talk a little bit about prayer, and may their words be spoken more than mine. I'd like to thank everyone who is here with us today in this nice weather, summertime. May God bless everyone. So be it. Okay, so let's start. So today I'm going to be talking about prayer just a little bit. It's going to be a quick meeting. It's not going to be too long. And sorry for my internet. Connection is not that great here, but I hope you can keep listening to me. So just going to start with this introduction from a passage from the Bible. Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. The spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. So when this passage talks about for you to be always watching and pray, watch your actions and pray, so that you not fall to temptation. When we say temptation here, we're not saying like in a very sinful way, it's a sin to not commit sin because, in God will be angry. No, we're not talking about this. We're talking about the temptation, our flesh, our heart, our passions, the temptation we have to break God's law. That's it. God has moral laws that we call spiritual laws, nature laws. Those laws are immutable, and once you break it, you have consequences, because once you break it, and this law, they are in place to make sure the entire universe, has a harmony. And most of the times we don't understand much of this law. So the sins that we commit, they are, in spiritual speaking, it was an easy way for God to teach us, do not do this. So that's why we have the 10th commandment. And, at that time it was really necessary because it needed straightforward, don't do this, or that. Nowadays we have a bit more understanding of spirituality, lots of religions came, and we try to explain as much as possible what we call a natural, because we can't see, although it is natural, we just don't understand yet because our physical body has its limitation, our flesh, so well, this is just to give a context that we're not talking here about guilty. We're talking in a way that we can develop ourselves morally, spiritually speaking, so that's why watch and pray. It's always, always be on the lookout for your actions, and pray because prayer is the meaning of helping you on your, self-development path, your spiritual path. And I'm going to talk a little bit about prayer here to understand this, and why prayer helps us. Why, so let's go and start with first. Why pray? So prayer is an elevation above all earthly things, an ardent appeal to the higher powers. Took this, it's a free translation from after that to Leon Dennis. So prayer is an elevation. Once you, in the beginning, my prayer is let's gonna elevate our thoughts, because that's what we need. We elevate our vibrations, our thoughts. Prayer is an elevation, above everything that's earthly. When we talk about earth, we talk about matter, about we know we are not, spiritually speaking, we are not that evolved, and as a human being as well, from the actions we do on our daily basis and everything. And when we look in the whole picture, we can see that we are not that spiritually evolved, but we are gonna get there. So prayer helps us to keep on the right path, keep on track with our spiritual. Not 100%. So how to pray? The four means nothing, but the thought is everything. Say your prayers in accordance with your convictions and in the manner which is most agreeable to you, since good thought is worth more than numerous thousands words which do not touch the heart. So prayer, especially, prayer, it's here we talk about first, there's no form, there's no recipe for prayer. You sit down, you pray. You can do the way you want, wherever you want, how you want, as long as it's honest, it's from your heart. You really, really mean to do this prayer, to elevate your thoughts, to elevate your vibration. Because if you're only doing like sometimes repeating, not even thinking, not even, doing with your heart, it's the same as not praying at all. So don't waste your time. If you're doing just because you have to do it, you do it because you want to, because it's it's a way, to ask help, to thank for something, you anyway. So it doesn't matter which religion as well, which religious, which spiritual belief, because prayer is thought, thoughts vibration. Thoughts doesn't are not different because you are from that religion or this religion, or you believe this and you don't believe this. It's always your intentions, your thoughts. Thoughts are not conditional. This is something we human beings, as imperfect we are, we create the religions, and then in the way we understand, imperfect as we are, so all the religions and everything, it's a way for us to explain what we feel sometimes that we can't explain, the unnatural sometimes, which in the spiritualism we talk about natural. This is actually natural. We're just not evolved enough to understand or just truly see. Anyway, so prayer, the important thing is prayer is something that has to come from you, not a form, or not something that society or that religion says you can do. But even if you can do it, there's no problem, no. But when you do it with your heart. That's the thing. And it doesn't depend on which religion. It's everywhere, because it's our fault. Our fault doesn't get influence. Well, can get influence, but when you really have the intention to elevate your thoughts, no matter wherever you are, what beliefs you are, it's gonna be always a prayer. Anyway, so we know we talk about how to pray, Now we're going to talk about the importance of praying. Why this is important, why, in every religion there is your prayers, everyone, because this is something, uh, it helps us on just on the right path, watch and pray. But in the Spirit's book, Allan Kardec asked the Spirit, does the prayer make humankind better? And the answer straight on, yes. Those who enthusiastically and confidently pray have more strength to withstand the temptations of evil and to get help from the good spirits sent by God to assist them in so doing. Such help is never refused when honestly asked for. So, when in the passage Bible you have ask and shall be given, that's what they mean. It's not never gonna be refused if it's honestly asked. you know so, and when we say those who enthusiastically confidently pray, that's mean they pray for the heart. They are actually praying honestly, truly honest praying, elevate their thoughts. When we do that, it helps us, it gives us the strength to stay on the right path, to stand the temptations of the evil. Temptations of the evil, again, it's not more than ourselves having to deal with our passions. We are on earth to work our passions, to use our free will to get, and we use our free will to get better. We have to learn. We learn from our mistakes. So prayer helps us not fall again, or helps us focus. When we elevate our thoughts, we elevate our vibrations from outside earth. Earth is a very mature kind of vibration, or fluid. I'm going to talk a little bit about the cosmic fluid as well. So earth is very heavy, and to explain better is like, if you are a evolved spirit that it's materially speaking, you have almost nothing matter. It's really hard for you to come down here to earth, because this matter, it's kind of it's going to be harmful. So that's just to realize where we are on earth. And as much as we give importance to material things, more we stick into this matter. So that's why spirituality, moral development, spiritual development means detaching from the matter. Detaching from things that once you die, you don't take with you. And as well, working your passions. We know we are millenniums, not millenniums, but spiritual beings with thousands of years, maybe more, maybe less. I don't know, but we have been reincarnating to get always, to always build a better version of ourselves. That's the purpose of reincarnation. And when we reincarnate, we forget everything. And what happens? We still keep our passions, the feelings, things we have done, like, for example, something very, very simple. I was really angry with someone and I end up killing that person. But because that person inflicted me a lot of harm and made me angry or anything. So even if I forget that I did that, I'm still gonna have the feeling of the anger I had for that person. And I have to work on that, because anger, it's not a good feeling for you. It's not something that makes you evolve spiritually. Forgiveness, I have to work on forgiveness. I have to forgive myself. I have to work to ask forgiveness for what I did. I have to forgive what they have done to me. So all these things we come, all this baggage we come makes us the person we are here. And we are not perfect. We have done lots of wrong things in the past, in other lives. We need to fix it. And we do that not because we we regret, it's because of regret, as Joseph had put, because we want to improve ourselves, to make a better version of ourselves. And prayer helps us. The importance of prayers is that, when done, it helps us to stay on the right path, to walk those temptations of evil that, I put on quotes because it's exactly our own passions, to do things, to break God's law. Killing someone, it's breaking God's law. Do not kill. So, but there's other things involved in one law, enter with another one. So, the temptations of breaking those laws, prayer helps us to actually not do it, or if do it, helps us to get back on track. And that's the importance of prayer. But let's gonna talk about the effectiveness of prayer. Ask and shall be given. So beyond all doubt, there are natural and immutable laws which cannot be annulled at the caprice. Sorry, I'm not talking of each individual. So ask and shall give. Is it everything you ask shall give? No, not really. No, you can ask for a nice car, a new brand home, or someone to do, I don't know, like, okay, but material things, of course, no, you never ask those. We know this is something that we know. But sometimes we ask things that, even if God grants us, it means it's going to break other laws, and he's being almighty, and he can't, and just, he can't break. That's why we call God is just. His kindness, but it's just, so there are things that we have to pass. There are things that we gonna ask because we are in endurance. It's really painful, it hurts us a lot. We're gonna ask. So God can't rip away that pain you have, but what he'll do, God will concede if we direct ourselves to him with confidence, is courage, patience, and resignation. Sometimes what we need is resignation to our trespasses and things what we gonna pass on earth, all the suffering we're gonna get. What he also concede are the means of resolving situations with the help of ideas suggested to us by good spirits at God's instigation, whereby we retain the merit for the decision taking. So what that means, sometimes we ask for things and it can be ripped away. Like, for example, something simple, to cure a disease. This disease you had, there is something that is related to past lives that you need to pass that. And it's a way of you working and making yourself a better version. But it's painful, of course, it's painful. And we ask, every time we are in despair, we ask for everything. Now, you might not have the cure of this disease, but you're going to find a way of resignation. Good spirits will induce, you to make better decisions. Maybe even sometimes, get the doctor at the right time, even that, for you to actually, pass this, pass this part. But I'm just giving a very, very small example, and we cannot generalize. That's something in spiritualism we do. Each individual being is individual, unique. You cannot, each trespasses we do, it's so unique, it's like a fingerprint. It's only us, because it's the way in the combinations of things, combination of reincarnation, doing, breaking God's law a lot, those combinations makes us, our path, so unique, that's almost impossible to have someone in the same path or very similar path. We go, so we can never generalize the answer, the examples I give here is just to illustrate, but doesn't mean, like for example, uh, your suffering it's always related to something you did in the past. That doesn't mean that, it could be, could not be. But the thing is, what you ask, how effective is the prayer, it will depend on what you're asking and how you take it as well, because sometimes we need actually resignation, and I talk to myself when I'm in despair. The first thing I see is, you ask God, and it doesn't because it wasn't meant to be in this way. And that's what we have to understand as well. We get angry with God sometimes because we didn't get what we asked for, but we have understood yet what we ask for is actually going to break God's law, or it's not going to be good for my development, actually, because I need to undergo all these troubles. So, but God will always listen and will always be there. And do remember, just kindness doesn't mean you're going to do whatever, because He's just as well. And just mean He has to be just with every individual being. So that's one of the things, the most important thing from the part, ask and shall be given. We ask and will be giving in the way it's possible, not in the way sometimes we want, because we are selfish. That's the root of every evil on earth, is selfishness. We are selfish. We ask things that we don't even think is selfish, but it is when we think in a bigger picture, outside the box. So the effectiveness prayers will always depend on how we do it. How honest are you, and if this is really going to help you to build a better version of ourselves, to maybe it's patience, maybe it's courage, maybe it's resignation that you need, maybe someone that's gonna cross your path to do something, but maybe it's not going to be taking that illness, or or something, or other sufferings. That's also is one of the reasons that God doesn't take all the suffering in the world, because the suffering is actually consequences of our own actions against God's law. So all the suffering on earth it is. But if you talk only about our own lives individually, we're not going to find this sense on this. We have to think us as an individual being, eternal, spiritually. We had many lives, and everything that we do, is like the ripple of the if you throw up, there's a lake, perfectly stable. We drop a rock, and the ripple waves, they go. So, and it affects the entire lake. So one action that we do, it affects the entire lake. And that's like this. So let's gonna go a little bit more to understand prayer. So we talk about effectiveness. We talk about this is more about how it works. Understand prayer. Spiritism makes the act of prayer understandable by explaining how thought is transmitted. Again, in the beginning, I said prayer is your thought. That's the most important thing. It's your thought, not your words. So in order to understand what happens in these circumstances, it's necessary to consider all incarnate and discarnate beings as immersed on a universal cosmic fluid, which occupies space, as we on Earth are immersed on the atmosphere. So we know we have air around us. We can't touch it because it's the air, but it's like we're immersed in an atmosphere of O2, of oxygen. So it's the same thing. We are immersed in this atmosphere where we are incarnate, discarnate people around, discarnate spirits around. So everything that we do, even like I'm pulling like this, there is a consequences. And in physics, we know the dislocation of the air or thing, but we have to think this a little bit bigger. It's like the drop of the rock, the drop of the throwing a rock on the lake, on the stable lake. It affects everything. So every action we do affects everything. So, and when we understand this, we understand our action of praying, our thoughts. It's also the same thing. Our thoughts, we are transmitting our thoughts. We are sending waves, vibration waves from our thoughts when we pray, and those waves are elevated one. They are, they make, I'm gonna continue on the next one, but they make much, the consequences is a good consequences. Whereas if you think like sad thoughts, or angry thoughts, or anything, you also, propagating this, but it's much lower level. It's not an elevated one. So understanding that we are all immersed, and when we say immersed in this cosmic fluid, we are connected to each one, to each other, to it, so this fluid receives an impulse from willpower or thought, which is the vehicle of thought, just as air is vehicle of sound, with the difference that the vibrations of air are circumscribed, where those of the universal cosmic fluid extend infinitely. We know it's infinitely. Our universe is infinite. We don't know where it ends. For us, it's infinite. So that's the universal cosmic fluid. When a thought is directed at someone, either on Earth or in space, a fluidic current established between them, which transmits the thought from the other, just as air transmits the sound. So the cosmic field is the vehicle of transmitting the thought. And we know, Albert Einstein was talking about this, the fastest speed is light, but we know nowadays that our thoughts even faster. It's the fastest thing. It's instant. We think is there connected, because of this cosmic fluid. That's the vehicle. So our thoughts are very, very influential, and it's, I can't find the word, but our thoughts it's important for this, to get, depending on our thoughts, you're gonna get, good thoughts, bad thoughts. We're gonna get, the answers as well, because it's a two-way. You send, but you also receive, because when you send, you open this channel. So that's why, if prayer is the highest, or is, the most elevated vibration you can get, prayer, meditation as well, meditation doesn't have to be a kind of prayer as well, because prayer, you need to focus, so for prayer, for meditation, you need to focus, you need to, so it's also a prayer. It's not something different, because it's when you connect, when you open that channel. So you're opening a good channel where you're going to have a high speed quality connection. But if your thoughts, on the prayer are, don't care, I don't have this, I'm hungry, you can't pray. I mean, it's not good to pray when you are hungry. You pray to, release this hungriness and not be that angry. But if you pray when you're hungry, I want that person to die, things like this, of course, only thoughts. We're sending this kind of lower level thoughts, and it's gonna connect. It's gonna connect, and you're gonna receive back. Everything. It's a two-way channel. It's not only one way. You receive back as well. So if you pray, we actually opening a channel for better things, good things. So as we are ending, I'd like to to come. So just to wrap up that thing, prayer is it's something that it helps us as a tool for our self-development path. It makes us get elevator thoughts when it's truly done, not just repeating words when you do actually truly when you want. Doesn't have a form, doesn't have it's very effective, but we need to think about effectiveness, not selfish effectiveness. What they said, ask and shall be given. It's not going to be, of course, a car or something material or something that if God concedes this, it's going to break his law, the law he did, so it's not going to be just anymore. So that's the thing. So when we talk about this and that we are immersed in this cosmic fluid that is the vehicle of our thoughts, we understand prayer as a tool, a powerful tool to helps us stay on the right path, to help us make a better version of ourselves. So I finish here talking about selfishness. This quote from Mahatma Gandhi: prayer is not asking, it's a longing of the soul. It's a daily admission of one's weakness. It's better in prayer to have a heart without words than words without a heart. Just what we say, we can ask. Prayer is not just asking. You ask, yes, you're going to ask and shall be given. But as I said, it's not just that. It's too, it's a longing of the soul. Because as much as we keep this vibration, this high elevated vibration, we are longing our soul, our lives. Chico Xavier, he was really at the end of of his life, he was really sick. He was like, and everyone was saying, no, just rest today, don't do your sessions. And he always would say, with a good, I don't remember exactly the words, with a good prayer, everything's possible. So that's what he say. It's longing of his soul. It's his life. So he would always pray, and it would get better. Of course, eventually you die because that's a nature. Our body, our physical body, doesn't live forever. No, it doesn't. So, but our spirits will keep. And when they say longing of the soul, it's like feeding our soul, making better version of ourselves. It's daily admission of one's weakness. When you pray with humbleness. You ask humbleness. You take a look at yourself and see your mistakes, and now say our mistakes, ourselves, and see our mistakes, And it's better pray to have a heart without words than words without heart. That's the thing. Words doesn't mean as much as your thoughts, and your force. When it's hearted, truly, that's really powerful. Really, really powerful. And with good vibrations. And I'm just gonna give this one. This is a travel blessing. It's a Celtic. It's an Irish travel blessing, and it's very nice. It talks about blessing you on your journey. This doesn't mean just if you are a traveler around, but our journey in our life. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand, like protect. May good luck be with you whenever you go, and your blessings outnumber the shamrocks that grow. May your days be many and your troubles be few. May all God's blessing descend upon you. May peace be with you. May your heart be strong. May you find what you're seeking whenever you roam. May you have the, this is difficult for me to say, hindsight to know where you've been, the foresight to know where you are going, and the insight to know when you are going too far. So I'd like to thank you for being here today. And for this, just gonna talk a little bit of bibliography. I took After Death, chapter 10, The Prayer from Leon Dennis, The Gospel According to Spiritism, a collection of spiritual prayers, and then The Spirit's Book, chapter 3, Moral Laws, about the law of worship, and The Gospel According to Spiritism, Ask and Shall Be Given. Our activities are now on Facebook and live, but we are returning on the 4th of September. We have a new location. If you go to, it's in Dublin too. If you go to our Facebook page, you're gonna find the new location we have there. For now, the public meeting will be online, will be 11:15 as usual, and the talk show 7:15, and the study group 8 p.m. But every other from the 4th of September and every other Sunday, we're gonna have our Sunday meetings at the place, at the local physical. So, but it's gonna start at 12. But the healing starts at 11:15. 11:15 we have the fasting, the healing, and then after that we have the speech at 12. So on the 4th of September, save the date, and it's gonna be every other Sunday in there, and every other Sunday online. And any doubts, you can go to our Facebook page or to our email, our spiritismireland@gmail.com. And with that, thank you. And I'm going to do the final prayer. So if you'd like to close your eyes, take a deep breath. Connect with spirituality. In this prayer today, I would like to ask, first, thank the spirituality for being here. Thank for this day, for this lovely day. Thank for all the things God has granted us. And I'd like to ask a good and profitable week to everyone. So be it. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Bye-bye.